Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to RoyalBluFX. Today we're going to talk about footprints and what are footprints in the market and how can we use them. So without any further ado, let's begin with this video. All right, so a footprint is essentially just areas of where the market is doing pullbacks or retracements in this case. So when we're going on an uptrend like this, price going on an uptrend, there's a footprint, right? Marked. Price breaks another high, there's another footprint, like this, and so on and so forth. Okay, so all these lows, or higher lows, should I say, are considered footprints in the market. And whenever the market reverses and does something like this, where it breaks that low, but then continues higher like this, now we see another footprint right here. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about this specific move that happens all the time, every time in the market, and it confuses a lot of people too, by the way, because what you were taught in a trend trading theory was to, mark each higher low or lower low at this in this case too as well, is to take a trend line and then mark it out like this and wait for the market to come to the trend line to buy the market. Well, unfortunately, this method may work a little, or it doesn't work sometimes, or for most people it doesn't work, but sometimes it's hard to identify how to draw a trend line like this. Maybe since all three points are touching, and maybe you're going to do this now and see, okay, well, this is a trend line. So trend lines are very confusing in the market. So what I'm going to show you is how to identify footprints like this, and they're very easy to see, as you can see. And we're going to go over to the chart over here to show you how I identify them and how you can trade them. So, but we're going to specifically talk about this move here. This move is a very tricky move, because when you're following order flow, or when you're following all these footprints, and when there's a break of structure, you're waiting for the buy to happen right here when the market gets to an order block, and then look for buy. Sometimes the markets just break through that order block and it gets tricky. Now you're starting to confuse yourself and wonder, well, RoyalBluFX said to wait here. Now you're looking for the buys to take a buy, right? Well, yes and no to some extent, because we can always predict, any retail trader can always predict where the market's going based off of the strategy that we show. But, what happens when there's manipulation that's happening in the market? So when the markets break structure like this, this is considered to be two things. It may mean a liquidity grab from this low here, and the real order block was right below this low here for the markets to shoot up. Or it can also mean the markets are reversing. So if prices break here, right, and then prices stop right around this demand area, there can be a potential sell-off from here. And in this case, this area here would be considered a choch. So a choch is just considered, it stands for a change of character. Let me just show you guys here. And if you guys haven't seen this, if you guys don't know what a choch is and don't know how to use it, I did a video on this a while ago. You can check out the choch video. But essentially, this would be a choch, or a change of character, where the market starts to reverse. We would, identify the order block there, or the supply area, then look for the sell-off to happen from here, like that. Okay, but let's go back to this though. Why, when the market actually breaks structural low like this and then breaks a high, and now you don't know where the market's going, it looks like it's just zigzagging, right? Well, let me tell you this. Whenever price is breaking a high, you should always look for buys, right? No matter the the manipulation. So what I mean by this is, since the market has broken a new high here, we're still looking for a buy, and now we have to identify our new order block, or our new demand zone. The new demand zone will be right here, and this is where we'll be looking for buys. We would still be in a buying bias, or buy bias. Okay, and this is where the markets are looking to come back to, right, and then look for the target, the current high. Now, why were we looking for buys here? Well, very simple. The reason why we're looking for buys here is because we're looking for buys only when price extends or overextends, right, and shoots up very fast. And in this case, you can see that there's a long extension here. Therefore, it only makes sense for price to come back down here based off of the price extending. Also, when there's a fast buying going in the markets, that's considered that, you know, banks or retail traders or sorry, banks or institutions are buying very fast. You know, didn't give a lot of the retail traders like ourselves to buy in quickly here at this order block for prices to extend even higher. So they bought fast to clear out all the liquidity here and here and make people think that this may be, you know, a buyer's market, right? Which in fact it is. Or sometimes when prices move fast down, manipulating you and making you think that prices are actually now starting to sell off. They're making you look like and making you feel like this is where an area is where you're going to be looking for sells to take down, right? When in fact, you know, prices are just still pushing higher. So this is called this is the footprint that I'm talking about. We're seeing footprints in the market, but there's the manipulative footprint where you need to understand how to know how to continue trading in the right direction. So while looking at this, most people would say, okay, prices broke here. Now we're looking for sells, right? But there's no guarantee that prices are going to continue any higher. And so far, you're thinking to yourself, okay, now I'm looking for a sell. We see a break of structure like this, which is still not wrong to think about, right? But there are some various factors that that we teach at RoyalBluFX in regards to understanding why this may not be a potential sell here. I mean, it looks like a sell, but when we get to this point and markets do this, now you're wondering, okay, well, this must be a sell. But in reality, prices just start pushing up like this. And you're like, oh, shoot. Okay, now I'm screwed. What is the market trying to tell me? You know, prices do this. Then you're becoming confused, right? So we teach a lot of this in our course, in our one-on-one mentorships. And we'll show you how to, you know when exactly, when this isn't a sell and when this is just still a buy in this case. So without any further ado, you can also see, and I'll do another example here when we're selling off like this. And then all of a sudden prices go up like this and come down like this. When do you know when to enter and where to enter, right? You can see already there's manipulation in the market where prices break the structure here, this high, yet it touches this order block here or this supply zone, and prices take off. Now we broke another structure. Now what do we do, right? Well, we have to wait for the markets to always come back to us. We can't be so rational and too hasty to look for buys or sells. We need to wait for the markets to create us the footprints, okay? And this is what's important. Wait for the footprint to create at all times and look to sell whenever price is giving you that opportunity. So let's look at examples here. I pre-marked them out for this video particularly. Let's look over here. We have a break of structure right here. Let's highlight that as a break of structure. Slow. And now you can clearly see that whenever you're here at this time, you know that you were able to sell, right? Well, now look what's tricky. When prices are here and prices broke this high, you can see that there's a high and there's a low. Prices indeed broke this high here. A lot of people would think, okay, well, it's time to buy here now. But then, you know, price is already taking you out before you know it. And prices just go right through. And now you're like, okay, well, this is so weird. I was looking for buys. Why didn't this work out? RoyalBluFX told me that we're waiting for a buy now because there was a huge area where price extended right here. Now we're looking for the buy. Well, sorry to break it to you guys, but you know, this is where the market manipulation happens, right? It's breaking multiple structure and then taking prices even further down. As you see, when we had another break of structure, now this is where you can align yourself with, you know, the price's supply zone here, sorry, the supply bias here. Everything's pushing down. So in this case, what you could have done was, once there was a break of structure here, right? Once there's a break of structure up here and down here, let me just mark this as a BOS here and here. This is where the moment of truth comes, right? We want to know the moment of truth. Where can we identify the order block, footprints? I'm sorry. Okay. Well, we can identify a footprint here, first of all. I'll mark that in green. And if we're in the midst of this right here, let me just chop this up over here. See this? Now, where do you identify the next footprint? Well, there is no footprint made just yet. It looks like there's a footprint creating potentially, but who knows if prices actually stop here and push up? Then that's not this isn't considered a footprint, right? So what we're waiting for is for another footprint to create itself, because now our mind is thinking, well, when there's a break of structure, we're looking for a buy here or maybe here, you know. But now we have to be patient, because this is the form of manipulation that's coming into play. And once prices show us the next footprint, which is here now, you can see price extended, and we're looking for a potential break of structure like so here. Now it's much easier to see everything else, the footprint. You can see that this is an unmitigated footprint. This was mitigated already. Now we're looking for price to come back here and test the order block and take itself from here. And this is where you need to be patient, right? And then strike whenever price gets there eventually. So just understand the form of manipulation, how manipulation works at all times. It's going to be one up, breaking structure like this, and then one down, selling down fast, breaking more structure, or the opposite way, where it's breaking off structure down at the end, breaking back up, and now we're looking for buys at this area to go up right here like this. Let's look at another example. Right here is another great example. As you can see here, here's the low and here's the high of this area. Price broke structure here. It did a choch, and I clearly specified it as a choch because price was consolidating or ranging. So when price breaks down low fast, and then all of a sudden price breaks up fast, you're wondering, okay, well, price broke up high, so that means we should be looking for a buy in this area, or maybe somewhere lower in this area here, where where demand is presenting itself right here. And this is the reality of how the manipulation in the market happens, just like this. So you would have thought to look for buys right in this area. Let's mark this maybe red here, right? To look for an extension to go right back to the top, because, you know, you're seeing a clear break of structure right here. And it's not wrong, by the way, you guys, it's not wrong, but it's when you're confused about the market's cycle, the market's, you know, structural cycle, the manipulation always comes in. This area always presents itself everywhere. More so to take out liquidity, like this down here, taking out liquidity here. As you can see, there's so much liquidity sitting up here. So that's why the markets went up. And then they tagged or touched a nice order block from here and then pushed prices down. Now, let's identify where our footprints are in here. Okay, our major footprints. We know that there's a footprint here. We know that there's another footprint. These won't be considered as footprints because these haven't broken anything. They haven't done anything. In fact, this is the only footprint that's happening here. Okay, but notice we're going to look at each footprint and see which one haven't been touched or touched at all. We can see that clearly here this wasn't touched at all, but now prices actually broke through. Prices broke through. So if this footprint isn't working, then this footprint must work based off of its unmitigated area right here. Okay, so just notice how the manipulation is happening. You're probably going to need to wait for the manipulation to complete first before you get into the market. So all this move from this high to this low is manipulation, because it's manipulating you to think that this is maybe potential buy. Okay, well, if it broke this structure, this may be, if it broke the structure, you're looking for a buy. Now I broke the structure. Now how in the world can this be a sell if it broke the structure? Maybe you can sell the pullback. Who knows? But the real clue is wait for the manipulation to take out first, like here. Once this low and this high have been taken out, there's your true direction. And here is your true, this is your true footprint right here. That's unmitigated. Right there. So this is where we were going to wait patiently for the market to eventually come here. So notice how let's get out of here first. Right here. Notice how we have a high. Let's zoom out a bit. Let me go on the daily here, for example. You can see there's a high and a low, high and a low, high and a low, right? Prices haven't broken this high, so therefore this place was left unmitigated. So eventually price did a choch here, and price never came up to this area to sell off. So what we're going to be expecting is for price to climb up all the way here, then sell off again eventually for this footprint to be to sell off from. Of course, selling off from the daily, this is going to take probably a few weeks to a month or so for the sell-off to really start happening from there. But we're not going to be selling or buying from the daily. We're always doing it from the 4 hour, or at least we track price on the 4 hour behavior. So eventually price will come up here and fill up this order block or this supply zone and then take price down. Let's look at for some more here. Where are more? Here we go. Let me just take this out here. Okay. And maybe this. Okay. I added some more so I can show you guys here. 2 more examples here. Okay. So when price here, trying to find it here. Okay. You can see here, for example, when price is going on a bearish movement here, on a supplies pushing all the way down, you can see that this area here, when price touched an order block after a break of structure here, let me identify this for you guys here. Right there. Then we wait for the markets to come back to an order block, which would be these unmitigated wicks here. There we go. Price will touch, right? And this is where it's confusing. If you're on the higher time frame, looking at the 4 hours or higher time frame, you're only looking at order flow going up, and it makes sense for the market to make a break of structure. Look for the buys, right? Break of structure. Look for the market to touch your order block for buys, right? And now when we get to this area here, when price breaks and touch our supply zone here, there may be people that are looking to buy at this area still, waiting for price to get down here and then for the next buy, right? But here's the sad truth about how the markets work. Once prices touch the supply area, the markets manipulate you by thinking it's a buy, but rather it's a sell. So markets take out this high, markets take out this low, and then now we wait for the retracement to happen, and we're looking for the sell-off. And where is the sell-off? After this break of structure here. We wait for it. Now we find that this here is our supply zone, right? Price barely touched there. Yeah, right there actually, because this is our low and our high. So we mark our low and our high here for our supply zone right there. And what do you know from this point is that price just started to sell off from here. So the real manipulation is here. Let's find where our footprints are, okay? There's a footprint here. And the footprint made here now. Okay, and the real footprint, it's actually this one. Once the manipulation happened, it went up, down, it goes back up. Now you need to really find where the sell is. The sell is right here, which is also another footprint made for us here. So the real sell would have taken place here. Let's go all the way back down. This footprint would have been this entire supply area right there. So the real sell would have been here after the high was taken out here, and then the low of this market was taken out here. Price pushed down. Now we're waiting for price to get back down for back up to our footprint, which is here, to take a sell. All right, and lastly but not least, we have another area of manipulation where prices look like they're buying and then they went for a sell. Let's look at this example here. We have a high here. Price broke a choch here, right there. Let me just make this more clearly for you guys, right there. And then also price broke a sell, broke another structure for a sell. Now let's find out where the true trend or the true direction is from here. Okay, so now we see, let me just recap this. We see a buy here, breaking structure, and we also see a sell, breaking structure. Let's identify where our footprints are, which is right here and right there where it's already marked. Okay, and then now we have to see the true direction, the true direction. We see that price broke structure here, and now you can see that prices are actually indeed a buy, because we saw that the sellers were right here, the buyers were taken out right here, the buyers were taken out right here. Okay, and then also when price took off from here, now sellers were taken out, and now we're waiting patiently for the market to come back up here for another sell, and the sell doesn't happen. Let's say you end up at this point. How do you know where your buy is, right? We don't know yet because there's no true direction happening in here. Oops, there's no true direction happening in this area right now. We need to wait for the market to give us a true direction and to show us that clear footprint in the market. So let's continue playing. So we can see we marked our, as you can see, we marked our current high and our current low here, and the market's still consolidating. There's no knowing where price is going until price breaks structure. Then we wait for markets to come back down to a order block where price, this was the originator of the market's push, break of structure. You can see there's two of them. There's a push phase, the pullback and push phase, and the pullback here. An extension or retracement, extension, retracement. And so at each extension, we look to see where that market will be, where that order block may be for the markets to take off from here. And sure enough, everything plays out here. We would have looked to target this high for a safety, area, and then this would be their second probably, and maybe our third right at the very high here, right there, and be done. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this this idea that I've been trading a while. You know, again, it's just manipulation in the market. You know, if you ever get caught up in something like this, you know, just understand that it has to break a high and a low, and maybe another high and then another low for the market direction. So let me just kind of paint you another picture here. If prices are pushing up like this, then you have a low broken, then another high broken. You need to wait, and since you can see order flow is pushing up, nothing has changed other than this one little break. Then you wait for the markets to come to an order block like this to take price even higher. And at rare cases, prices will just do this too. Going up, breaking a low, breaking a high, breaking another low, and then it touches our supply area from this area, and then it just starts pushing prices even lower too. Okay, so now you can clearly tell where price is going. In this case, we had a break of structure once and twice. This will be the second break of structure, will be our confirmation, our true confirmation that the market indeed is actually selling off from here, and it's not going to be going any higher than that. Because once there's two breaks of structure, guys, usually the market indicates Usually market indicates that the price is reversing, the market's reversing. It's going to be a sell now instead of a buy or a continuation, a buy bias continuation from here. So same thing goes for sells. When markets are going down like this, we have a break a high, break a low, another break high, and then we have a area price touches demand again and then breaks another high. This is considered as market changing direction. Why? Because we had one break of structure, we had second break of structure right there. And after the second break structure, this is when you can actually safely look for buys here to take the price up, rather than looking for sells, continuation of the sellers selling buys here. Okay, so this is just one way to understand how the markets are reversing and or continuing based on what I taught you. One last recap, okay? When price is going back down like this, oops, yeah, maybe that's fine. When price is going down and then it's going up like this, touching a high, breaking above a high, then breaking below, and it's coming back up again. You can look for a safe sell here, okay? Because everything is sell biased here, right? There's only one break of structure from this high to this low. There's only one break of structure right here. So we're going to wait for a second break of structure to look for buys if price should ever break above here, but it never did. Okay, so this is how you look at structure and how you need to be wary and careful of the manipulation that's happening in this entire market here. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me please give us a huge thumbs can't even speak today. Just give me a big like if you like it. If you don't, put a thumbs down, and then ask us to see what we need to do better and how, if we should explain anything, you know, a lot better. I'm kind of slurring my words a little bit today, but it's Sunday, so please forgive me for that. Without any further ado, guys, I will close this video. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next.